Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 46. We're doing something a little different this time. This is going to be trade targets. I got my dogs with me here, MFB.
Yes, sir.
And BBTV.
We with it.
Yep. What we're going to do in this episode is give you guys a couple players to trade for and a couple players to trade away. Right now, in most leagues, your last day to trade is probably this Saturday, the 16th of November. That's the normal. So we're going to give you guys players that you should get rid of before the deadline and players that you should go and get before it's too late to help you make that playoff push. We'll start with BBTV. Why don't you go ahead and give us your first trade for target?
Dang, I've not started off an episode, so first time, baby. I like it. First player that I'm going to trade for, person to go grab, is I think you should go get Marvin Harrison. Now, I know Marvin Harrison has not been playing the best, and he's kind of cost you guys some of your weeks because he was your early second round pick. But he has a fire schedule coming up. He's a great red zone target. He has two touchdowns in the past 3 weeks, and he has an easy schedule coming up for the end of the regular season, and also if you're in playoffs for the playoffs. So I feel like you need to go get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, they have good matchups the rest of the season after the bye.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford him on bye this week, now would be the time to get him because he hasn't had really like many too crazy weeks recently. In Miami, he had 111 yards and a touchdown. So that was a good week for him. Last week, he did have a touchdown against the Jets. But their schedule upcoming is really good. So I think it's a good trade for a target. Don't give up too much, but definitely try and get Marvin Harrison on your team.
Yeah, I would say it's a really good trade for a target. In one league, I did just trade for him in the previous week.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, bro, like Kimo already touched on the schedule, but the playoff schedule is immaculate. New England, Carolina, then the Rams. So
Fire.
It's
fire.
just juicy. And on top of that, like rookie receivers tend to get better during the last half of the season. So it's kind of aligning and it looks pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a reminder for those of you listening, week 17, which is your fantasy playoff finals for like most leagues, they play the Rams, and week 2 when they played the Rams, he had 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
oh, wow.
if
Yeah.
you do it again, it'll be good. That was the best game this season so far. So
Yeah, exactly.
he can do it again for your finals and win you the finals.
Yeah.
Let's go MFB. Give us your first trade for target.
My first trade for target is kind of interesting. I'm going for guys that like who are really good players, obviously, and that you could buy kind of low for. Like you won't have to spend too much, right? But anyways, let's jump into it. My first buy target is Jauan Jennings right now. So he is seeing a massive target share right now on a Niners offense in a division along with Arizona. And it's a close race in that division right now. So that being said, they recently even talked about moving Jauan Jennings to play the X. And he did last Sunday, and it panned out pretty well for him on the outside. So I think it's just a really good buy target. He doesn't have some crazy brand on him where like it's just going to cost a lot innately. So you can get him for probably cheap / very fair pricing, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. They have some tough matchups, Chicago and Buffalo upcoming. But he was a waiver pickup. So likely you can pick him up and flex him each week. And you hopefully don't have to give up too much for him. I would, there's some players I would give up for Jauan Jennings.
Yeah, same. I'm liking Jauan Jennings a lot. I'd definitely go pick him up. And you don't have to give up too much for him, you know? And you could just talk, I don't know, if you're trying to get him, you could talk about, oh, he's got a tough schedule coming up. So try to lowball someone maybe, or slight overpay, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you're looking at Yahoo or Sleeper, any of these apps, and you look at the matchups, week 16, they play Miami, and it looks like a tough matchup, but I think that's skewed from the number of weeks that teams were just able to run all over Miami when they had no Tua. So wide receivers just couldn't get going against the Miami defense. They didn't need to, right? They would just run the ball consistently, and the wide receivers didn't need to get points. So in turn, that shows up in the stats as, oh, Miami's a tough matchup for wide receivers. So it was like 32nd. I think they were 32nd, like the worst matchup for wide receivers like 2 weeks ago, and now it's 30th. So it's slowly coming back down to what it should be. So they play the Rams, which is divisional, then Miami, and then Detroit the last 3 weeks. So those are good matchups for wide receivers. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my trade for target, which actually goes along with BBTV's trade for target, which is Kyler Murray. If you can grab Kyler Murray now, right before he goes on bye, I think it's a good idea. We talked about same reasonings for Marvin Harrison. They have good schedule upcoming, couple of divisional matchups. Actually, I think 3 divisional matchups. They're competing also with San Francisco for that division. So they're going to want to win every game. They're going to, play and do whatever it takes. They just came off a win against the Jets before their bye week. If you can afford to not have a QB for 1 week and maybe play someone off the waivers and still win, then you definitely should pick up Kyler Murray. He's definitely going to do good things. He had tough matchups before, and that's why he had some dud weeks. But its schedule opens up real nice in the next few weeks up until the playoffs.
Yeah, that's solid. He goes with my player that you should trade for. So I believe in both of them, and I truly believe you can go get Kyler Murray. You could probably get Kyler Murray for like, I don't know, like a Brian Thomas, a Jaden Reed, a Sutton maybe, like somewhere like kind of mid-tier receiver, because
it's hard to get him for that because most people picked him up in the 5th round, maybe 6th round, but people were taking him pretty early in drafts. So what you should do is try and find people that did end up picking up another QB in the meantime. Like, let's say they have Baker Mayfield or whoever, someone else that they can also sub in, or that they have another backup QB, then you can go and get Kyler Murray. It'll be hard to take him away from somebody that he's their only QB,
Yeah.
But, yeah, what are some similar names that you would also give up for to get Kyler Murray?
Yeah. No.
It's just
a little bit tough. Maybe like Josh Downs or like a Nick Chubb. It's kind of hard. Trading for QB is always a little bit tough. Kind of like because going along what you said, Kimo. It's they probably drafted him. They probably held him. They probably sat him and started a different QB, right? Or if they didn't do that, then it's kind of even harder to trade for him. But usually what I would try to do if I'm heavily targeting a QB and I have a QB, whether it's an upgrade or downgrade from Kyler, I'll make a package that way. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll line up the QB, see the difference, and then match that difference with another player on their team that I want with some player on my team I'm willing to give up.
Yeah.
So kind of like a 2-for-2 kind of trade.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much balance out the package if I really think Kyler will rise and go higher.
Yeah.
And you never know. Someone might just accept the trade that you send their way. So send the trades out and then talk to the owner of that player and just see what you can get out of them.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if you are willing to overpay, I think like a slight overpay would be like George Pickens for like Kyler Murray. Like, I feel like that's something, if you have the receiver depth or if you can get a receiver off the waivers that's going to somewhat perform, like a Pickens kind of player, Kyler Murray.
Would you trade Brock Purdy for Kyler Murray?
Would I trade Brock Purdy for Kyler Murray? I would.
That's a tough one. Head scratcher.
Nah. Look, I have them very identical. I'll be honest. I have them very identical.
They're both going for that playoff push, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
BBTB, give us your second trade for target.
Funny enough, it's Brock Purdy. I think, Brock Purdy. He's been, I don't know why, a lot of people in so many of my leagues just undervalue Brock Purdy. It's kind of crazy to me. But Brock Purdy, man, he's just producing. He finally has a healthy Niners team. He's Like, in the past, like he's averaging over like 20 points a game. Yeah, his schedule is a little tough, but his offense is so much better than their defense. I personally think so. Like the schedule that's coming up, that I think Brock Purdy can hit his projection and just even a little bit more. So that's a player that I can go get. Like that I'd heavily go get if I need a quarterback.
To go back to that trade idea or the trade of giving up Brock Purdy for Kyler Murray, I would do it just because they have a lot of tough matchups. Chicago, Buffalo, even Green Bay can be tough. Detroit finals week. They're probably going to be playing for that one or trying to play for the win there. So he might ball out, but the tough matchups to go along with C-Mac being back and going to get more involved and you get more touches, could take away from Purdy.
Yeah, but C-Mac's a huge player in the pass catching offense. Like he's a great pass catching back. So I feel like just dump offs there. So and he can when he gets the ball, he can go crazy with it. So there's a lot of upside for that.
Okay,
that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean I feel it. No, it's not bad. Not a bad take. I think Brock Purdy. We talked about this before. Like in the divisional kind of race, these guys are both looking to win the division, and so it's kind of between SF and the Cardinals right now, or at least that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So Brock Purdy already had his bye week though, so he might be more valuable in that he's not on bye this week, and they're playing Seattle, so good week for him this week. MFV, give us your trade for target number 2.
Number 2, also kind of like the same thing. Probably a guy you can get pretty low, and I think it'll pay out. I got Jaylen Waddle as a buy target. I think already we're recording this after Monday night, but he already had his second highest receiving yards, right? In a not so great game, right? So there's definitely a lot more room for him to do better in upcoming weeks. And then as the Miami just came off a dub, so hopefully their offense gets more rolling and more to what we're used to and what we're familiar with. And I think, like I said, Jaylen Waddle, like the owner's probably not happy with him, right? Probably on benching him. He can't cost that much. Like I feel like the value to his name is like after this season so far has just been degraded and like forgot about, right? Like it's no longer attached and baked into the value. So I think it's a decent buy. He's still seeing decent targets. I like that. I think Miami gets it rolling.
Okay. Honestly, the only reason why I'm not a fan of Jaylen Waddle is just because he does not see any red zone targets. Like he wasn't seeing anything like in today's game. And obviously he's only had 1 touchdown on the season. And obviously we know that Tua was hurt for like majority of that. But at the same time, it's just like he hasn't like gone past 60 yards besides 1 game. So I just wouldn't want to rely on my risk on a player like that. That's how I see it.
I think you can just get him for the low. Like if you can just throw in
like what?
Maybe you can mask a trade and do it like a 2 for 2 and then throw in Waddle in the trade. Like you're trading for Kyler Murray and the owner has Waddle as well as, I'll take Kyler Murray and Waddle and I'll give you whatever. Like other, what I mean? Like maybe bonus. Waddle's not doing much. And trust me, whoever has Waddle is probably benching him. Like honest, after this week, Tua's been back for 3 weeks now, I think.
Yeah.
Or is it 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Arizona, Buffalo, and Rams.
Yeah.
And he has not hit in half PPR, he hasn't hit 8 points.
Yeah.
So
I think this is more of a, you know what? Now that I think about it, this isn't like a league winning type of trade, right? But okay, I just thought of a name. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. Of like possible league winning type of trade is to trade for Josh Downs.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I think that guy's like a immaculate talent, gets a crazy amount of first option reads, target share. Like, I think, I mean, the Colts obviously, like we know how they are. Their playoff schedule is good though. The fantasy playoff schedule is good. So that's like a possible like sleeper league winner type of dude. that you could trade.
So are you switching your pick from Waddle to Josh Downs?
Like a league winning, but Josh Downs costs more, like way more.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you trade Jackson Smith and Jigba for Josh Downs?
Damn, I like both those players, but I'd probably
With DK coming back probably this week,
I'd still probably do that.
you would give up JSN for
because
Josh
the Colts are only 2 games away from tying the Texans, so they kind of have to ball out if they want to see the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might really do it.
Yeah, I would do it for JSN.
Okay,
But
that's solid. Yeah, so Waddle, if you can get him for nothing, go for it, because people are looking to get rid of him. I'm sure. I would not be happy. He has not cracked 10 fantasy points besides week 1 against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But he does have a good playoff schedule, so who knows? Maybe he starts to ball out, then you play him in the playoffs, and he could win you your playoffs. My second trade for target is Dionte Johnson, who got traded to the Ravens. Didn't play week 8 after the trade. Week 9 played some snaps, didn't do anything. This week 10, played also a couple snaps, didn't do anything. Had 2 targets, 1 reception, 6 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And John Harbaugh said, I think his quote is, he's been here now for somewhat of a number of practices. I would expect that to ramp up. So he's expecting to include Dionte Johnson more in the offense, which they should, right? They traded for him. Why would they not use him? So he hasn't done anything the last 2 weeks that he played with them. So I would expect it to pick up. He's a good receiver. We saw what he could do with Andy Dalton in the Carolina offense.
Mm-hmm.
So with Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, like it's gonna eventually produce. He will eventually produce. And his projection next week, against Pittsburgh, it's like 4 fantasy points, 4.5 fantasy points in half PPR. Like Dionte Johnson, once he gets going, he knows the offense, he knows the plays, he can produce. So it's only a matter of time. If you can get him for the low now, I would go and grab him.
Yeah, I think there's a stat. I don't know. I'm just reading on Yahoo Fantasy at the bottom of this. It says he played 5 snaps on the Thursday night game. Is that true? He was only in for 5 plays?
Possibly. All I see here is 2 targets.
Okay. Yeah, so basically, if he's saying that he's going to ramp it up, he's got to get more than 5 snaps, obviously. So
yeah, he's playing nothing. Like he's not.
Yeah.
5 snaps is literally nothing, and to get targeted twice in 5 snaps is You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So
man, I don't know about this take, bro. There's a lot to unpack here, though, right? Okay, Dionte Johnson came from Carolina. Great player, great receiver. He's talented.
Right.
Much better team. Extreme upgrade of a team.
100%.
Right.
Now, here's my thing, right? Number 1, let's talk about schedule. They got Pittsburgh, they got Chargers, they got Eagles. Then they have a bye week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So even if I trade for him, bro, I am not really sitting comfortable starting him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After the bye week, they get the Giants, Steelers again, and then Houston, okay? Now, in those 6 games left, I'd be surprised if he has more than 2 games of like going off, right? Now, let me go into why I think this, right? I'm looking at Zay Flowers' game log, right? Because Ravens have won plenty of games where Zay Flowers, their first option target, is doing nothing, right? They beat Dallas, they beat Buffalo, they beat Tampa Bay, they beat Cincy. All those games, Zay didn't really play a crazy part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're adding this other receiver and you're being like, well, he's going to pop off, right, quote unquote, depending how you want to, define that. But I guess that's kind of my thing, right? So their number 1 receiver, sometimes Zay has games. Don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of amazing games. But there's plenty of games where Ravens win and they just run the ball with King Henry. So
yep,
it's just like it's too like murky, and I don't want to trade for a guy where like he maybe has 2 solid games and then the rest are dud games.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. The only reason why I wouldn't trade for Dionte Johnson There's just so much on that offense, so many weapons on that offense. It's just tough for Dionte Johnson to have like a crazy game. Like the way he'd have a crazy game is he's got to catch some touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
I'm not saying that he's, a huge like league winner, but I'm saying his value right now is pretty much at its lowest. Like he didn't play a week, then he played and didn't do anything, then he played and barely did anything at all. So it's like it's a very, very low value. It can only go up from here. So
I'd agree with you there. Yeah, it's definitely like at a crazy low.
I agree with though.
Yeah, so, if you could afford to give up some of your bench pieces and get them, like for just a simple like.
Would you trade Tyler Lockett for Dionte Johnson?
Yeah, I think so. I need to see Lockett's schedule, but I think I would. If I had Lockett, I could go get Dionte Johnson. Why not? Like in my opinion, I really think
probably would do that too.
Yeah, I don't think that Lockett's going to do
know a lot more if I see a Dionte game where like he has a full snap log.
The thing is, you don't have enough time.
That would tell me a lot more.
You don't have enough time.
I guess that's true. You don't have enough time.
Yeah, you got to take the risk at that point.
I think you take it. Lockett right now.
Lockett's like whatever. Like you might as well take that risk.
You could do it and just
if it's players like that, then yeah, sure. All right, do you trade Roma Dunze for Dionte?
Man, his schedule is I don't know because he kind of has a connection with what's his name. No, I would do it. Romo Dunze, probably got him late.
I'd do it for the risk.
I would do it for
I'd risk it.
The risk could pay off. Like it really could pay off big.
Would you do Keon Coleman for Dionte?
Yes.
Yes.
Keon Coleman for
easily.
Dionte, yeah.
Okay.
Not easily, but yes.
Would you do Alec Pierce for Dionte?
Yes, I would definitely do Alec Pierce waiver pickup in most leagues. For Dionte?
Would you do let's up it a little bit. Would you do Cortland Sutton for Dionte?
No.
No. He's been too consistent in that offense. Yeah, pretty decent. Yeah. No, just kind of.
Before we, sorry, but I was just gonna say, before we moved on to the trade away things, I have one more, just slight bonus, but I don't want to talk too much about it. But yeah,
then don't.
No.
Go ahead.
I don't think we even got to your second trade for anyway.
We did. Brock Purdy. He said Brock Purdy.
I had Marvin Harrison, Brock Purdy.
Oh, okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, but just real quick, I don't want to talk too much time about it. I talked about this guy last week. Heavy. I'm huge on this guy. It's Chase Brown. I see Chase Brown, just league winner kind of running back. Somehow go get Chase Brown. That offense is moving. Joe Burrow's playing lights out. Obviously, Jamar Chase playing lights out. We all saw that game, or highlights of it. And the running game's fire, man. So I really think that Chase Brown is a league winner if that man does not get hurt. I think you even overpay. As crazy as it may sound.
Overpay for. I mean, didn't he fumble in that game?
He did.
He had one fumble, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Khalil Herbert fumbled his first snap. As soon as he got into the game, the man fumbled first snap. But I'm just saying, like if you're trying to make that playoff push, they have a decent schedule, But the Bengals offense is so good right now that I think it could beat out the defenses. So
okay, yeah. Let's keep it that just for the sake of time.
Yeah, it's just nice and simple.
Yeah. Trade away targets. Let's jump into it. MFB starts off with your number one trade away target.
My trade away, maybe it isn't all that crazy, but I'm probably trading away Rico Dowdle, man. And basically their schedule isn't crazy bad, right? So, but still, like, they got Cooper Rush, a quarterback. I think Dak, is it confirmed he underwent like season-ending surgery?
It's technically not confirmed. They're gonna go see one more doctor for his neck or something or hamstring neck. I forgot what it was, and then they'll confirm it. But he's out for a long time.
But either way, like he's out for a while. Like for Rush, like we saw like during the Eagles game, like they're gonna be down a lot of games, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So like, obviously I'm not like they're not gonna run the ball a lot if they're down so much.
Easily, yep.
So I don't know. I'm not into the. I haven't even been a fan of Dallas running game previously, right? Like Rico, he has like 3 decent games, right? But the rest of them, he did nothing, right? So that's why I haven't been a fan of Dallas running backs.
Yeah.
So if you could trade him away for like low key somebody else, I would try to do it.
Rico Dowdle for Dionte Johnson?
Yeah. Unless you don't have the
Like
RB
if
depth.
he's your flex, sure, but I would trade for like I might even trade for like some handcuff at this point.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
So you'd go trade
yeah.
for like a who? What
Because
handcuff?
Rico
Like,
Dowdle's not going to win you your league.
like Rico
Russia
Dowdle for
quarterback.
for Bucky
it's
Irving.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's
100%.
easy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy. What'd you do for
23?
Trey Benson, the backup for James Conner, who's been taking a lot of snaps?
Nah, probably someone better than Trey Benson.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a handcuff.
I'll say like a Ray Davis, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Deal.
Okay.
Really? Okay. I mean,
Bro, with Cooper Rush in and like the Cowboys are 3-6, like it doesn't look like a shot. Like they getting up there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
all right. I mean, no, I agree. That offense, the Cowboys' offense, is moving down. So, BBTB, why don't you give us your number one trade away target?
I'm probably just, BBT just giving out his hot takes, Number one, plain and simple, first round pick. He was top 3 pick, pretty sure in like every league, but I'm gonna go with Ceedee Lamb. Ceedee Lamb, Dak Prescott's out. Ceedee Lamb's not gonna be that dude. That dude looks unmotivated out on the field. Go trade that dude. Try to go finesse some homie. If you can finesse a homie, finesse a homie. What you call it? Like I would like. I don't even know how to package like. Yeah. Like I don't even know. Just trade him away. Try to get something decent for him that has upside. Like I think I was talking to a buddy and he was like, should he do Puka like should he get Puka Nakua and trade away Ceedee Lamb? And I told him yeah. So I would.
That's an easy one for me.
Yeah,
we can get into the names in a bit, but
I'm just saying like something like that though. You know?
I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't agree with you. So like, first of all, it's like it depends how much you get for him, right? Mm-hmm. If you could get Puka, yeah, accept right away. You know what I'm saying?
What about Neighbors?
Yeah. Well, what's his Neighbors hurt still?
No, Neighbors not hurt. He's not hurt.
He's not hurt.
He got hurt.
He did get hurt during the game, though.
He got hurt during the game.
He did get hurt during the game, but he came back to the game.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neighbors 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, what was I gonna say? It depends how much you get for him. If you get like players like that, 100% lock it in.
Yeah.
Right? But if you can't get anything great, which I think most leagues and managers probably like, they're not going to be juiced to trade for Ceedee anymore, right? So you're selling him at like a pretty low point in his value and right before the deadline. It's like that. That's what makes it murky for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's like, well, if I'm not getting if I'm not getting a Neighbors or Puka or some other solid package for Ceedee, I'm just gonna keep him, bro. It should be a decent enough floor every week. He's still gonna see targets. He'll be like okay. He won't be great.
Yeah.
If there's still like some person hyped about Ceedee or holding on to the brand value of him, yeah, for sure, go sell him.
All right. Let me just name a couple names and let me get some yes or no's real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Would you trade Ceedee for Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ceedee for Devontae Adams?
No. That to me, I don't like. Let me go check his schedule. But for me, no.
Probably not.
Just in my
but
opinion,
it's very even. It's like an even type of thing, right?
Okay, let's go less than even that. What about Debo? Just real quick. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You're gonna go talk about Devontae?
No. We don't need to lag on that. It's fine.
Yeah. Would you do Debo?
Man, that's a
probably
fun
not.
One.
Yeah. Okay. So it stops at Debo. Okay. Yeah. So there's like a couple homies that you can kind of. So pretty much Puka Nakua, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp. Those are pretty much that's the cap.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
if I could get Cooper Kupp for Ceedee, yeah, I would do that.
Ceedee for Tyreek, bro.
I'd do Ceedee for Tyreek.
I'd do Ceedee
for Tyreek.
I would do Ceedee for Tyreek. Tyreek's kind of like up in the air right now, and people are
Ceedee for Marvin Harrison.
Yes, I would do that.
I'd go get Marvin Harrison. I think Marvin Harrison's a league winner.
We just talked about him. Yeah, I would give up
Ceedee
for
Mike Evans.
Bro, that's a tough one. And
It's
they're
a
on
tough one
bye.
because of his hamstring. That's the
Dude,
only
that's-
reason why
but
I
he
would
should be
not do
back.
that.
He should be back
He
after the
should,
bye week,
but
right?
he's every single year he's hurt his hamstring on one of the weeks.
Okay, but he's been out for 3 weeks. They
I
get the
know.
bye. So
I
he
wouldn't
was
do
back
it.
after 4 weeks. Hey,
I
came
still
back.
take the risk.
AJ Brown came back after 4 weeks of his hamstring. He hurt it in week 2 before the game, and then he came back week 6 after the bye, and he looked good. So I don't know. And that offense is missing Godwin, so that might be a sneaky trade, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a very
thinking
sneaky
about the upside.
I'm thinking about that because I have Ceedee in the league, so I'm taking all these options into consideration.
Yeah.
Who should I go get?
All right.
Who are these guys do I like
Who's
the
your
most?
sell, bro? Chemo.
My player to trade away is DeAndre Swift. That offense is not moving. So I just think that the schedule upcoming, the running back schedule, the defense that they come up against, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco. And then guess what? Minnesota. And then guess what? Detroit. So it's not good. Horrible schedule upcoming. Get rid of DeAndre Swift while you can. Sell him high off of his recent games. He had almost 20 fantasy points against Carolina, Jacksonville, Washington, and then Arizona didn't do that much. New England didn't do that much, but just say like, hey, bro, he'll be fine. He's good, whatever. Just try and sell him as fast as you can. That offense has not been moving the ball. Caleb Williams is not looking that hot. Hopefully he can turn things around. Even so, he just has a tough run schedule upcoming. And I just don't want that risk on my team. If I had DeAndre Swift, I would go and try and get Aaron Jones for DeAndre.
You was not getting no Aaron Jones for no DeAndre Swift.
Make a little package. Make a package.
Would you do Ramondre Stevenson?
Nah, man, I do not like Ramondre. This is
the only thing I would do it. The reason why is because this man's getting touches. He's been getting touches the past few weeks. So that's I'm trying to give you like within that realm.
That's a very good realm. They played Chargers last week. Yeah, probably, man. Honestly, at this point, they got some
DeAndre Swift for Javonte Williams.
No.
Hell no, man.
Hell no.
Javonte is like he's borderline droppable after this week. I mean, he's not droppable. Don't drop him. But
he got me weak, bro.
But he's man, Javonte, I don't want to talk about him. He's my bonus sell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyways, let's enough of DeAndre Swift. Actually, another player.
Just real quick. Najee Harris.
I was gonna say Najee Harris. I would take Najee.
I'd go get Najee Harris. 100%.
Najee. Yeah,
without a doubt.
Najee's interesting because Warren was taking touches this last week. Najee's schedule looks like terrible, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting touchdowns. I would consider it, bro. I would consider it. Najee Harris. It's like a toss up for me.
I'd definitely go get it just with the offense moving. By the way.
Yeah. So MFB, give us your second trade away.
My second trade away is pretty much literally same logic as you. All the Chicago wide receivers, bro.
Yeah.
These boys, Chicago looks terrible right now. They got spanked by the Patriots. Their schedule is abysmal. It's I don't see any game man. You know what? Let me check real quick.
Mm-hmm. They have
because bro, out of all these games, right? They might win one.
You don't think that from playing from behind, they won't just be chucking it, just slinging it?
Man, maybe, but the defenses are so good and like he's so inaccurate, right? If the homie was somewhat accurate, yeah. Let me buy some Chicago receivers.
100%. Yeah.
The homies are so inaccurate, like it's like nah, bro. It's just it's kind of a bad investment.
Yeah.
So that's my sell. Yeah.
Agree with that?
Yeah. If you can get something out of those players, for sure, try and go get rid of them, sell them while you can before it's too late. They might have a game here and there, but the trade deadline is around the corner, so you don't have time to wait for them to pop off and then sell them. It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Sell them while you can, while you still, before the deadline. I like that take.
Same.
Baby TB, onto your second trade away target.
Yeah. I think you go trade away the stellar rookie Brian Thomas. He has no Trevor Lawrence coming up the next couple weeks. And then Trevor Lawrence should be back after the bye, so week 13. And then once you get Trevor Lawrence, you play some really good pass defenses. That doesn't give much to the wide receivers. You play Tennessee, Jets, Raiders, Tennessee. Those teams don't sound that good. Yeah, I was going to say those teams don't sound that good, but I don't know. I wouldn't go get them. I would trade him away 100%, just because. And he doesn't see like a lot of targets. The past few weeks, he hasn't gone past 5 targets or more. So, yeah, I just go trade him away. I'd probably just sell him while I can.
Yeah, maybe next season when we do this podcast, if we're still here, we will tell you guys on a weekly basis players to trade away or trade for, because it would have been better to tell people to trade him away earlier on after he was doing good. But honestly, it's hard to tell. Now it's hard to sell him.
Now it's just because his value is lower.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is out, and he's likely out next week.
Yeah,
before the bye.
Yeah, out next week. If you could sell him for any player that you like, for sure, I would go do it.
Like go get a Pickens.
I'm not like, I don't know. I wouldn't like sell him like crazy. I wouldn't fire sell him, I guess, is my thing. If I could sell him and be happy, sure. But I'm down to keep him on my bench just in case. But they are last in their division. Like it's not looking great for them. Law. We don't know how it'll be after the bye with his injury. So
yeah, who knows? We might this week upcoming find out they're just going to shut him down. I mean, they're not making a playoff push. They already lost.
They're not.
The running backs don't. They all look pedestrian. They all just kind of falling apart. Like it just ETN and then Jernus Johnson and then Tank Bigsby, and they look good, but then they don't. So I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, that they're not getting wins. There's no reason to keep trying. Why would you put your rookie out there? Why would you risk Trevor Lawrence get injured even more? Like I think they're done. So yeah, I agree with that take. But yeah, I see MFB where he said, if you can just stash one on your bench, just stash him. And then, who knows? Maybe you need him. But if you can get some value for him, get rid of him while you can. My second trade away target is, or not target, I should say, but trade away player is Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews has been doing pretty good the last few weeks. I think this last week he had a touchdown, and he had, in the last 5 games, he's had 5 touchdowns. So he's been doing really good and now becoming a top option at tight end. His only bad game was against Denver. I just think that as Dionte Johnson gets more involved in the offense, they will target him less, or less targets will go Mark Andrews' way. His value is kind of at the high point right now. And just with tough matchups, they have the Chargers, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and then after the bye, Pittsburgh again, then Houston. I think if you can get good value out of him now, you should do it while you can, and then have a better player that will produce more for you. And they have a bye week 14, so that also sucks. You have to have a player with a bye. So that's my second trade away target.
Yeah, I was about to say I kind of like that because you're talking to a guy that fades the tight end, get rid of the tight end. Mark Andrews at a high value. I would try to go trade him, like trade Mark Andrews plus like another one of your wide receivers or running backs and go get like a better player, like a 2-for-1 if you can. And then just go pick up a tight end off the waivers. Go pick up like a Jonnu Smith. Taysom healthy somehow there. Kincaid's out, so Dawson Knox might be the guy. But I'd try to get rid of Mark Andrews just to get a better player.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Would you do a tight end trade 1-for-1? Like, what's a tight end that you would trade 1-for-1 for and get rid of Mark Andrews? The number one option, I think,
like tight end for tight end.
Yeah,
you could maybe hit like Like a K dot in.
That was going to be my number one.
K
If I
Dot
could get K Dot for
yeah.
Mark Andrews, I would take that.
Yeah.
I would get K Dot and sell Mark Andrews.
Yeah. K Dot and maybe even that's literally it. That I'll maybe Kyle Pitts. Maybe.
Yeah. Possibly Kyle Pitts. Possibly Tucker
Ooh.
Kraft, but that's a little bit lower.
Maybe TJ Hawkinson. If you can. Like if you can somehow. I'd definitely go get TJ Hawkinson.
1-for-1.
Oh, 1-for-1.
You could probably get more. For Mark Andrews' value is at a high right now. I mean, he started the season off
Yeah, of course.
terrible. We saw him come up. We saw him do very well. But yeah, actually, you might be able to swing that TJ Hawkinson 1-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you could sell him high, yeah, great. I'm cool with holding Mark Andrews right now, but
For like
that's kind of my own view. He's running a lot of routes right now compared to earlier in the season, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a good sign for the peripherals.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like with Dionte Johnson getting more involved, I feel like Mark Andrews is going to be TD dependent, and I don't want someone being TD dependent. Like if he gets TD, cool, but
Yeah, if he doesn't, then you're kind of disappointed. Yeah, I like the Mark Andrews for TJ Hawkinson trade.
Did MFB freeze? Or am I tripping?
We're having some technical difficulties with MFB.
MFB, I'm like, this man is frozen.
This does not want to be here.
Hey, luckily we pretty much finished the episode.
Yeah, so episode's pretty much done.
Just real quick.
I would do Mark Andrews for TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, real quick. We are still taking applications for a third hoodie, so
yeah, MFB just rage quit on us.
That's hilarious.
Because we didn't agree with him.
He did not agree with that take.
Technical difficulties with MFB. We'll see you in the next episode. This was trade targets. This episode. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Just real quick,
guys.
I was about to say, if you guys have any other, like, obviously we didn't talk about a lot of people, but join the Discord if you guys can. Please do join the Discord. Talk to one of us, or talk to maybe all three of us, something, and see if you want, like, who should I trade away and who should I trade for, or like see if you're trying to trade for something, and you can run it by us. So yeah, join the Discord.
Join the Discord. Let us know. We'll give you guys our best input, and you guys can make the decision from there. But at the end of the day, I tell everyone the same thing: trust your gut when it comes to a trade. Even if we give you advice, if you don't feel like it's the best advice, go with your gut. And then if you're wrong, then trust the hoodies. But
exactly.
if you're right, you'll always feel like, okay, cool, I made the best decision for myself. Mm-hmm. That's how I run my fantasy teams. That's how you should run your fantasy teams. So I would recommend that. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.